Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at some new additions to Peak Design's already impressive line of travel gear. On the channel, I've previously featured Peak Design's 45-liter travel backpack, which is one of the most popular one-bag travel options on the market. We've also looked at the smaller 30-liter version of that travel backpack, and Peak Design's packing cubes make an appearance in a lot of my videos because they're some of my all-time favorites. And so some of the new additions to the line include a new style of packing cube that's going to be offered in a couple of different sizes. So that's going to be great for anybody who's a fan of modular organization. They also have a new packable tote bag, a smaller version of their popular tech pouch, which I was really excited about, and then two new sizes of their travel duffel. There's an 80-liter size, which is one of the largest travel bags that I've had a chance to test out. And then there's also a 50-liter duffel, which may or may not be inside the larger version that I have here. So lots to dive into in this video. I'm gonna be talking about what it's been like to use these over the past couple of weeks. Before doing so, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Peak Design already has some of the best packing cubes in the game, and they've taken it to the next level with these new additions to their travel line. This is a new style of packing cube that's meant to be a little bit simpler than the current iteration, so they don't have the compressible zipper, they don't open clamshell style, they don't have a separate compartment for dirty clothes, but they're still very, very useful cubes. They're offered in two different fabrics. They have kind of this nice elastic mesh. You can almost see through it a little bit. Still feels very durable. This is going to be great for items that are maybe a little dirtier or damp, as it's going to provide some additional breathability. And then they also have this new weather resistant material. The ones that come in this fabric also have a protected zipper. And part of the reason for that is that these cubes are meant to be used as a lightweight sling bag in a pinch. So they have these attachment points on the exterior that you can pair with a strap that's not included with these, but that's really cool that you have these multi-purpose items which can work really well. They come in a variety of sizes. Here I have a sampling of the sizes that they have in both of the fabrics to just provide a little bit of a walkthrough, so you can really just kind of mix and match these in a lot of cool ways. I'm always a big fan of modular packing, and the soft shape of all of these packing cubes are really meant to work with a lot of different style of items, particularly items that have kind of unusual shapes. And so diving in, the smallest size is an extra small. So this is a really cute, tiny packing cube, and it's offered in a variety of colors. I have the white color here for this smallest one. And so for this one, I used it mainly for just some small EDC and tech items. I have a flashlight in there, wall adapter, and then I also have a little brush for my laptop and to clean the screen. And so, those are items that I always struggle to fit into kind of standard pouches, but because of the flexibility of these packing cubes, it makes it very easy. Cool thing about these is they also have this elastic zipper pull. So you have the ability to fold them up, and then the zipper pull wraps around, and then you can store it very easily. It takes up almost no space. Super lightweight. And then that's the smallest version. Moving up to some of the other sizes. I don't have all of these sizes and all the styles here. I'll make sure to include links in the description below to the full list if you want to check it out. I have a couple of kind of mid-size ones, one in the weather-resistant fabric, and this one I just used to store some of my belts, just again to showcase the variety of items that you could use because of the flexible nature of the cube. So I have couple of belts in here just to keep those nicely organized and easily accessible. Then again, same elastic loop here so that you can roll it up if you don't want to use them. They get very flat as well, which is really nice. And then this one over here has that mesh material. So again, you can kind of see on the inside, and this is going to be perfect for something like socks or underwear, again providing that breathability, helping to keep everything a little bit fresher. You might have two of these, one for dirty stuff, one for clean stuff, and so really nice variety here. One thing about these cubes is they also have it's kind of this little loop here as well, so you can hang them up. You can use them in a variety of ways, so really interesting setup. And then moving into the larger ones, these have an impressive amount of space if you want to use them as traditional cubes. They have more of a duffel style sort of opening, so you can place them down, open it up. I have a couple of shirts rolled up in here at the moment, but plenty of leftover space if I wanted to put more shirts in here, put a couple of outfits. This might even work well as a shoe bag. Peak Design, of course, has their own version of a shoe bag, which you can purchase, but this might be a good alternative. So for clothes, that works really nicely. And then the other one next to that, I have a couple of pair of shorts, just folded up and tossed in there. But you can really use these for a ton of different things. It's great to see the variety of sizes and styles that they have, so you can mix and match and really lay everything out perfectly into one of the travel duffels that Peak Design also has as part of their lineup, or in one of their popular travel bags. I feel like tote bags are all the rage these days, both for everyday usage and for travel, and it's easy to see why. They're really simple, functional, and Peak Design has this really awesome packable version that's now offered in a cool kind of greenish color that I have here. And it's impressive how small this packs down. So it's a perfect travel companion. It's got a little loop on the exterior when it's packed away, so you could clip it onto a bag. And then it's got a pretty slim moldable form factor, so you could toss it in pretty much anywhere. It's got a snap closure for when you arrive at your destination. You can open it up, and then you have a super functional tote bag, which is able to zip open and close, which is really nice to give you a little bit more peace of mind as you're walking around with this. And then other than that, it's got a nice size. So I am a big fan of tote bags. I like to have these just, for groceries or as kind of a beach or pool bag. You can toss a lot of stuff onto the inside, and because of the simple nature of the bag, even though it's not huge, it can hold an impressive amount of stuff. And then at the top, you have a little small pocket. The way that it's packed away, you can use this pocket here as kind of a secondary small area for the things that you don't want getting lost into the bottom of the bag. So nice touch there. And then you have a pretty nice strap. It's got this good wrapping here to give it a little bit of texture. It feels really durable. And so you can just, hang this over your shoulder. You can carry it at your side. And, it's just a great sort of companion for when you're traveling, to have an additional small day bag, or also something you can just have in your car or in your larger EDC backpack. Again, if you're just wanting to grab a couple of things, I feel like this is a lot more useful, durable, functional than kind of a reusable shopping bag, which I collected for a while back. I actually like this way better. So although it's simple and lightweight, that's definitely part of the benefits. You have the Peak Design logo on it as well. So just, taking a simple tote bag to the next level. And again, because it can pack away so small, it becomes just an excellent travel companion as well. When Peak Design first released their tech pouch a couple of years ago, it felt like they really set a new standard with the design. The accordion layout seemed super functional and unique. Their original tech pouch always felt a little bit too bulky and large for my typical use cases, particularly for travel, which is why it was super exciting to see them announce a smaller version of their tech pouch as part of this travel line update. We saw a similar smaller form factor with their DOP kit. I featured that in another video. I'll make sure to link to that in the description below. So a similar form factor here, which I think is just ideal, not just for travel, but also for EDC. So it has Peak Design's typical sleek styling, great materials, the well-protected zipper along the exterior. And I like that the materials here are durable, but they're not super rigid, which allows you to really squeeze this into a tighter bag very comfortably, which is always great. It's able to stand up pretty well on its own. On the outside, it's got a couple of loops, so you can turn this into a sling bag if you want to use it that way. It has a great layout for that. It's got this little area here that you can use to kind of hold it, almost like a handle. So pretty interesting idea here. And then diving inside of the pouch, because there's no external organization, so it's all internal, but absolutely love this layout here. It takes the things that I liked about Peak Design's other designs, but in this smaller form factor. It's just super, super useful, stands up well on its own, so a perfect companion when you're working remotely. You just take this out, put it next to you, and you can easily reach in and grab any of the accessories that you need. And so it has the accordion style layout and then two sort of primary compartments. And so I'll start off here. On the left side, I have just a laptop charging cable and the brick. So both of those fit in there very easily. And on this side, you also have a zippered area for any smaller accessories that you don't want floating around. On the inside here, you have a couple of small slots that are gonna be great for memory cards. Sometimes I'll place an air tag in here just to keep it a little bit more hidden. And then the compartment itself just has enough space for any dongles, smaller charging cables that you want to store, which is great to see. And then in the middle, you have a couple of dividers that are great for, smaller accessories. Here I have my Apple Magic Mouse. Then I have a cable to charge my phone and my tablet, which both fit in there very, very comfortably. You have this pretty elastic, nice material. And then on the other side, you have, again, nice amount of space for if you have a larger portable hard drive, a larger mouse. This is gonna give you the capacity to hold that. At the moment, I just have a Field Notes notebook in there. And then on the back, you have some additional slots where you may be able to store some extra batteries for your camera. At the moment, I have my AirPods Pro in there, which fits in there, securely. And then you have a little loop here at the top for a pen or a stylus. So not going overboard with the organization, but super, super functional, which is what works a lot about this pouch for me. I'm not always a fan of tech pouches that have so much organization that I struggle to actually make it work with the items that I want to carry. So I think this strikes the right balance. Again, it stands up well on its own, great form factor. And if you're looking for a smaller but super useful tech pouch, this is gonna be one of the best options to check out. The Travel Duffel is already offered in 2 different sizes as part of Peak Design's travel line. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 2 new sizes. There is the 80-liter version, which I have pictured here, and then there's also a 50-liter duffel, which I actually have on the inside, just to demonstrate the capacity of this 80-liter bag, which is larger than pretty much any travel bag that I've tested out in the past. And so at 80 liters, this is definitely a massive bag that is not going to be carry-on compliant. This will be something that you'd have to check in, but it is something that's going to give a lot of space for road trips, or if you want to actually check a bag, this is something that you can do with this size of bag. Or if you're somebody who just has to carry bulkier gear, you're traveling for a little bit longer. So it was interesting to kind of think through the use cases of something with this size. Regardless, for this size and the smaller size, you get, Peak Design's really sleek style, even with the duffel bag, which is such a, kind of old school functional piece of equipment. They really add their sort of typical design flair to it. So it's modernized, fits very nicely with the aesthetic of the other items in their lineup. And so I think it looks great. It's offered in a couple of different colors. The version that I have here is kind of this sage green version, but it's also offered in a blacked out version, a gray version, I believe. And it's very, very solidly built. It uses a recycled nylon for the exterior fabric. It's going to offer plenty of weather resistance. You have the very well protected zippers, as Peak Design always tends to use. The hardware on this is going to be anodized aluminum for the buckles and the hooks, which has always held up very, very well for me. So just continuing to offer a very premium build, which is great for something this large, because once you load it out, it can start to get pretty heavy. And so continuing along the exterior of the bag, you have a well padded shoulder strap so that you can carry the bag. I think Peak Design has done a good job here, and I like the length of the strap and the adjustability, so you can, hang this on your shoulder. You can wear it crossbody if you want to, and then you can also fully remove it, which is really nice. It's very easy to do so with these clips that Peak Design has on the strap. These are not the aluminum material like the hand straps are, so something to keep in mind, but very easy to remove them if you want to do so. And then you can also carry it by the handles, so it's got this nice snap closure here to keep the handles together if you're carrying it at the side like a traditional duffel. This has got kind of a nice leather-like material. It feels really nice and premium, and then you have a comfortable, grip regardless of whether you're carrying it together, separately, a little bit on each side. And then you can also actually remove these if you want to. If you just want to carry it like a duffel and you don't want to deal with them, you can also adjust the placement of these. If you want to use the shoulder straps as backpack straps, you can move them a little bit to make it a more comfortable carry, which can be helpful given the size of the bag. Now, these aren't backpack straps per se, so they don't have a ton of padding. I've used duffels in this manner before. It's not ideal, but it can get the job done when it's full and heavy. And so nice that you have a couple of different ways to carry it if you need to. And then continuing into the organization of the bag, the layout here is going to be pretty much the same for both sizes. So I'll walk through how I've loaded out this larger size, and then I'll do maybe a quick run through of the smaller version so you can see some of the differences in capacity. But at 80 liters, I mean, this is going to be able to hold more than I can imagine most people will need. And so on the exterior, you have some nice quick access pockets on each side, which is great to see. So on the exterior, you have one zippered pocket that offers a good amount of space. And it comes up a decent amount. You have this nice weather resistant fabric on the exterior. You have a little lip that comes over to help provide some additional protection on the zipper. And I don't have a ton in this compartment at the moment because I use the one behind it a little bit more, but it is still going to be able to hold a large variety of items. At the moment, what I have in here is a memo bottle, slim water bottle, which fit in there comfortably so I can stay hydrated while I'm on the go. And then I have behind that more of an admin style compartment. Nice amount of volume here, so this is going to be very helpful if you want to toss in pouches, a rain jacket, hat, gloves, a lot of different things that you can do with this external pocket here. You can also place the mini tech kit, which is also in this video, will fit comfortably here. And then you also have some nice slip pockets on the inside, good amount of space and volume even for some bulkier items. So diving in, I have a portable battery in one of them, and then I have my GoPro here in the middle, and on the other side I just have a little nail clipper set. So simple but very, very effective. And then on the other side you have a very similar layout here. So you have the zipper pocket on the exterior. In this one, what I actually have is my nomadic collapsible laundry basket, which I don't always travel with, but when I have a bag of this size, I actually really love having that to just keep my dirty clothes a little more organized. But nice amount of space, nice height here, and then a very similar layout to what we saw on the other side as far as having just a good amount of volume, again, for pouches or anything that doesn't fit into one of the slip pockets. And you do have two larger slip pockets as opposed to the three on this side, so it's going to be great for pouches. I have my Tom Bin Ghost Wool pouch there. And then next to that, I have a USB-C hub with its cable. It's always a very handy accessory while traveling. And one of the other differences on the side here is that you do have a little loop, which I think is great for pairing with a carabiner for your keys. I have a carabiner from the James brand there, which clips on very easily. And then you have a little section for an ID card if you want to store that there. And so, not going overboard, nice amount of space. And then taking a look at the main area, got to get the straps out of the way here. And then you have, a traditional duffel style opening, good Hypalon sort of feeling material here. The zipper pulls have Peak Designs, well-known sort of a locking zipper pull, so you can open it up, put these together, and so it'll give you a little bit of theft deterrent, which I've always thought is a really cool creative idea from Peak Design. And so I'll go ahead and open this up. You do have pretty well protected zipper here at the top, and then a wide opening so that you can see into this cavernous main area. And as mentioned, here is the 50-liter version of the Travel Duffel, so the same bag that we're looking at, but just in a smaller size and in that black colorway. And so at 50 liters, even with that here, you can see there is a ton of leftover space at the top, on the sides. You can slide this over and just continue to toss in a ton of gear very, very easily. So I'll go ahead and remove the 50-liter duffel. I'll bring it back here in a second, but take it out so that you can see into the main area a little bit more comfortably. And so now with the bag a little bit empty, you can get a better look at the inside. Very simple layout here, so it's just going to be a great open space for any sort of gear that you might need to carry. So this is going to be excellent for bulkier gear if you're doing any winter travel and you have coats, or maybe some ski equipment. If you're going camping and you have bulkier items, you're going to be able to fit in here very, very well. Also for larger sporting equipment, tennis rackets, or just any sort of thing that's going to be a little bit more space heavy, then this is the type of thing which can be really, really helpful, particularly for maybe rail or road trip travel. And then on the inside you have just a couple of zippered compartments, so very, very simple as far as the organization. Really like the material that Peak Design uses for these. So if you have some smaller items, toiletries, medicines, tech items, and you have one of those on each side of the bag. And then in addition to having those internal organization, you see that you also have the attachment points that Peak Design features in a lot of their bags, which pairs nicely with some of their modular accessories. I haven't really tried out any of their larger cubes. They also have these attachment points here down at the bottom. I haven't tried their camera cubes, but I imagine that there's going to be quite a few that will pair well with something like this. So that's going to be another great use case for a bag of this size. If you know you're carrying a ton of camera gear, you have the cubes, you could toss them in here, attach them and set them up so that you can access them. And if you have other, you know, bulkier camera gear, lights, 80 liters of space is going to be very helpful for kind of lugging it all around. And I think that, you know, for such a large bag, the build quality feels solid, the layout is very useful, and, you know, it's going to be a great option for those who need a little more space. Coming back to the 50-liter duffel, the layout and the features are going to be very much the same as the 80-liter duffel that we were looking at. The biggest aesthetic difference here is that we are looking at it in the black colorway, which I absolutely love. I think this looks super sleek. And then you still have, you know, the comfortable shoulder strap on the exterior, lots of adjustability, removable. You have the handles here, which are going to allow you to carry it well. You can use these as backpack straps. As mentioned with the other version, you can adjust these so that you can wear it a little bit more comfortably. And then, you know, the same organizational layout all throughout, which I'll talk about in a second. As far as the capacity at 50 liters, the dimensions on this are going to be a little bit over the limit on a variety of airlines. Now, this is still a size that I think you could probably get away with carrying on to a lot of flights, just due to the more flexible nature of duffel bags in general. This one will kind of mold around whatever you're carrying. You'll probably be able to squeeze it into an overhead storage compartment pretty comfortably, particularly if it's not completely overpacked. And so, you know, you'll want to keep an eye on that. It might be a little bit of a risk, particularly if it's one of the more strict budget airlines. But so far from what I've seen, as far as just the aesthetic and the materials, I feel like it'll probably work pretty well in a lot of situations. And if not, definitely for any sort of road trip travel. It's going to be very easy to toss into a trunk. So, you know, really nice, spacious size. Peak Design also has a 35-liter size, which is definitely going to be safe on any domestic or international airline. This one will probably be good on a lot of domestic flights. And at 50 liters, it can hold more than enough for what I would typically want to carry with me for a couple of weeks of travel. And so on the exterior, same pocketing that we saw earlier, just with maybe a little less space. So I can still probably fit the same types of items. Here I have the laundry basket that I had in the other bag, but you can see it's a pretty tight fit here. Then you have the same organizational pocketing. So the ID sleeve, the little place to clip on my carabiner, and put that in there. And then you have the same sort of style here with the dual mesh pockets. So I'll toss in the same charger that I had earlier with its cable, and then I also had the Tombin pouch, and so that's pretty tight, but I believe it'll still close. Yeah, it'll get there. And so you can see the laundry basket starting to pop out. So that's the benefit of those extra 30 liters, which is not insubstantial. And then on the other side, you have a pretty similar layout with the 3 mesh slip pockets here. Pretty similar amount of space. This one was still able to handle my GoPro in the nail clipper set. The height on this one is a little bit trickier for the portable battery that was able to fit height-wise into the 80-liter duffel. So if I want to carry that here, probably have to just lay it down. So starting to see some of the slight differences in the dimensions, but still very useful, spacious pocket. And then with this exterior one on the other side, I had my memo bottle, which is still able to fit in here, and it'll close pretty comfortably. And then moving into the main compartment, here I have this loaded out with a lot of my typical sort of travel gear. And even with my standard packing cube setup, there is a lot of space left over here at the top. So I would have been able to store a couple of extra pairs of shoes or an additional packing cube if I wanted to take extra outfits or a bulkier winter jacket. So 50 liters is still a lot of space. Diving into what I currently have, I have my packable rain jacket, I have my drone with its hard shell case, I have my typical shoes, a pair of Toms, then I have my DOP kit, I have the smaller Peak Design packing cube. It's able to fit in there easily alongside the larger compressible one as well. So these are, again, the current kind of legendary packing cubes that will complement the new ones from this video very nicely. And now with this compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside like the larger version. No compression straps, very, very simple layout here. You have the 2 zippered mesh pockets, one on each side, and then the same sort of attachment points throughout. so that you can pair this with Peak Design's ecosystem of accessories, cubes, and other camera gear that all kind of work very well together. So if you're just looking for a simple, spacious, and stylish duffel that's going to offer a great build quality and layout, whether it's the 80 liter or this 50 liter, it's going to be a really great kind of travel bag option. And so that's it. Those are some of the new additions to Peak Design's travel line. I'll make sure to include links in the description below to the individual items if you want to learn a little bit more about them or pick one of them up. They're now available on Peak Design's site. If you have any questions on anything that I walked through in the video, definitely let me know in the comments below. And I'll also include links to some of the other reviews that I've done for Peak Design's popular camera bags, the travel backpacks that I mentioned earlier in the video. And I'll also link to some of the roundup videos that I've done where I share some of my favorite travel and EDC gear, my favorite travel backpacks, favorite tech bags, and things like that. And if you have any suggestions for other similar items that I should check out, definitely let me know about those as well. And I want to thank Peak Design for sending the new items for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.